Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon's Flight. Hey guys, yes, the heading that you read in the title of this message is true. So I want to get that out of the way real fast so that, if anyone think that I'm just, dog whistling just to get views, then we can dispel that myth. At the end of the day, that this is a brother who's going to bring you the truth as best as Yah reveals it to me. Okay? So let's start in the beginning here. I have a question for you. What if someone had some news to give to you that would be so devastating, or better yet, what if you had to bring some news to someone that was so devastating to them that at the hearing of this news, it was a good possibility that they would go into a state of shock? What would you do if you had the option to decide how you were going to present this news to them, but you would have some type of resource available to you to help them digest that news? Would maybe a strong shot of whiskey be something that you would consider? I would have to say yes. You'd probably look at that. Yeah, let me give them something really, really strong to settle their nerves, so that when I hit them with this serious news, they will not overreact. I guess is a better way to say it. They won't harm themselves. The news in itself, wouldn't put them in such a state of shock that it could cause them to have a heart attack, go into a coma or a stroke, or who knows, some type of body breakdown, physical breakdown that could cause serious harm to them. Well, when you think about what the U.S. Navy is saying right now, that there are alien bases under the ocean. Alien bases under the ocean. I know some of you guys say that's absurd, that's ridiculous. But then again, you still have that little bit of speck of doubt in your mind that I wonder if that's true. I don't believe it's true, but I don't know. You never know. Some of you're probably contemplating thoughts very similar to the scenario that I just mentioned. But truth be told, it's true. The book told us a long time ago that it was true. But many of us had no knowledge of that because the book was hidden from us. Purposely, I might mind. And purposely, I may, emphasize. It was purposely hidden from us because they didn't want it revealed to us. And Yah allowed it for a certain period of time. So now, let me take you right back to where I started a moment ago. Okay? What if someone had to give you some news that was so shocking that they would have to give you some kind of sedative to calm your nerves down so that your reaction would not be devastating? Well, what if this news was going to be global news? In other words, the world over, everybody would get this news at the same time. What would you do to keep from having worldwide chaos and mayhem? People going crazy, killing each other, committing suicide, you name it, they're doing it. What would you do to calm them down? Would you look at maybe giving them some type of viral protein? Would a viral, like a virus, would a viral protein be something that you would consider if it was available? If you could get enough companies around the world, renowned companies around the world who make medicine, to come up with something that would be very helpful in calming their nerves down. So just like you would give them a shot of whiskey if you had to tell them the loved one died and you know they were going to be in a state of shock, maybe you would give them a shot of something else. But this time right there. But since it would be global news and the global world would be shocked, and there's no way the governments of the world could control the mayhem and the mobs and the rioting, then you're going to have to do something to keep them calm. I.e., I think I just spelled out to you why some of us say no, and we will always say no. Just give me the news. You don't have to give me a sedative to go along with the news. Just give me the news. But see, Yah is so good, and he's so kind. He is so merciful that he said that it would catch the wicked unawares, bad news, but not the wise. Not the wise. Remember when the angels came to visit Abraham? They looked like men when they were on their way to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah for sodomy, homosexuality, pedophile, robbing, stealing, murder, and extortion. They were doing all of that in Sodom and Gomorrah. They weren't just raping men and raping each other. They were also committing every kind of high crime and treason you can imagine. It's in the book of Joshua, another hidden book. If you want to know about it, get the book and read it for yourself. You so-called Christians, for certain. But when these men came to Abraham, these angels came disguised as men, they said one thing to Abraham after Abraham had showed them kindness. After Abraham had opened his home to him, as we have to open our hearts to Yah if we want to hear Yah's words and Yah's wisdom. The book said, be careful to entertain strangers, because some have entertained angels unawares. There are angels amongst us as well as demons amongst us. I talked about that yesterday, about the demon that may be laying in the bed, but there may be an angel who's sitting in your living room. There may be an angel who knocks on your door, or who's just visiting and passing. Or maybe some of you are in love with an angel. Only Yah knows. But when those angels came before Abraham, and he was kind to them, and he was hospitable to them, he broke bread with them. He had Sarah go and prepare a meal, and he fed them. And right before they were getting ready to leave, they said, should we hide this thing from Abraham that we're about to go and do? See, that's the mercy of Yah. When you open up your heart to Yah, Yah opens up his knowledge to you. And they said, no, let's not hide this from Abraham. So they gave Abraham the news of what they were going to go and do. And at that time, Abraham made the decision to say, he didn't make a decision. He understood clearly the danger that his nephew Lot was in. Because Lot and his family lived in one of those two cities that were going to be destroyed. And so Abraham began to ask several questions of the angels and pretty much reminded them of the just and the goodness of Elohim. He would never harm the righteous with the wicked. And they reassured him he would not. But he would have to find the righteous amongst the wicked for that not to happen, as it is today. Judgment is coming upon this land because Yah has hard time seeing any righteousness amongst the wicked, with an exception of a rare few of us. You say, righteous in what kind of way? Do you try to say perfection? Again, stop putting words in my mouth, you devil. No, righteous is your relationship with Yah. You're willing to be obedient unto Yah. Your willingness to embrace the truth, regardless of how uncomfortable that truth is. That is the righteousness that Yah is looking for in every true believer. Not your religion, not your idealism. The truth. Because it's the only thing, as Yah said many times now, that's going to free you up to hear from him. As Abraham's heart was right before Yah. Yah said Abraham was a friend of Elohim. That's the relationship they had. Even though Abraham had did a lot of other things. Y'all know some of the stories of Abraham. Lying about his sister. We talked about that. Lying about his wife. Saying that was his sister. To save himself. Okay, so, but again, I digress. I don't want to move away from the core message this morning. And that core message is that, Yah is bringing knowledge to the people, to the elect. He said the elect would understand, but he said the wicked will continue to do wickedly. Daniel said that. At least Gabriel said that to Daniel. The archangel Gabriel told Daniel, close the book to the end of time. Seal it. He said, and then men will be in a hurry, going to and fro, and that their knowledge will be increased. But he said, seal the book and hide it to the end of time. And then at the end of time, Yah is going to reveal it right prior to judgment, the books. So when you begin to look at what is going on right now globally, and what the global nations, think about this, guys. Every nation on the planet is conspiring together on this one. You say, what one, DFG? The hidden knowledge about the fallen angels are under the earth, including under the oceans, and that there's only certain powers that are keeping them in chains until judgment. And when these powers are removed, they are going to wreak havoc on the earth. You can find that in Revelation. You can certainly find it in the book of Enoch. They are going to wreak havoc on the earth. People are going to want to die and can't die. Starvation, diseases, epidemics, you name it. This is what the book said. Yeshua talked about it in the book of Matthew, chapter 24. But it's all through the book. But see, you would have no knowledge of alien bases under the ocean except you understood. First of all, you'd have to hear it from the devils. And they're only going to tell you half-truths. Because they know if they really reveal what they really know, many of you will go into a state of shock. So they're going to have to seduce you. They're going to have to medicate you, you know what I'm saying, to keep you from reacting emotionally to this knowledge. And the truth be told, just like those angels told Lot when they could find no righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, they told Lot to get your family and you better get out of here, and you better get out of here right now because we're going to destroy this place. See, if you are seduced and you have been medicated, you're not going to be able to react when mayhem and debauchery and total annihilation starts to come. You're not even going to move, my sisters and brothers. You're going to sit there. You know, I think of the analogy of the frog when they say you put a frog in a pot of water and you put it on the stove, and if you turn the heat up just little by little by little, and that water will get warmer and warmer, then hot, and that frog will not move, and it will boil. It will literally stay there, and it will boil to death. This is the intent that the wicked, the rulers of the darkness of this world, have in store. And it is rolling out on a mass scale, and they're using devils like Biden and all these other devils all around the world, the Putins of the world, the President Jing of the world, all over the world, to push the same lie. But just as those angels told Lot, you better get out of here right now. Yah is telling you, you better understand the power of resistance. You had better understand the power of no. Because Yah said when he moved this thing out of the way, those that be in the mountain, don't come out. Those on the rooftops, you better stay up there. In other words, he said, you better be able to hold your ground. You had better be able to hold your position. You had better not move. My brothers and sisters, these are warnings. These books were hidden from us. Leviathan is under the ocean. You might say, well, what is Leviathan? Again, this is why you need to be in the book. This is why you need to study, my sisters and my brothers. If you have no idea what Leviathan is, you're already in trouble. You're already behind the 8 ball, as they say. You got a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do. And I would strongly advise you that you get teachers who can help you understand what it is thou readest. Talking about in the book. Or you're going to be damned. These seducing doctrines, of devils that they're pushing out here right now about peace and safety. Don't you know that the book says when they cry, normalcy, let's get back to normalcy. If you want to do these things, you want to get back to normalcy, you got to do this particular thing. Yeshua said when they say that, sudden destruction is going to come. Leviathan is there as a guardian over the ocean, as Behemoth is over the land. It's in the book. It's written in the book. These are powers. These are entities placed by Yah to keep the aliens, the fallen ones, in chains under submission until Yah moves them out of the way. And once he moves them out of the way, they're coming on the lands. And they're going to destroy everything that does not have the seal of Elohim in their foreheads. Or better said, in their hearts. And that seal is a real seal. This is not a, I believe and therefore I'm okay. Oh, no. The devils believe and tremble. Your belief is not enough, my sisters and brothers. Your belief is not enough. You have to be sealed with the Rahuk. You have to have the spirit of Elohim in you that's going to guide you and help you make strategic moves to avoid falling into this dangerous, vicious, murderous inoculation trap. For all those who take it, the mark of the beast shall be condemned. Revelation 13, Revelation 14. So yes, my brothers and sisters, there are aliens down there. But you've been hearing they're letting a little bit out of it. The army, the government's going to announce in the summertime. Think about it. Think about how all this stuff is kind of all coming together at the same time. You know, we want to get everybody, get their shot, by 4th of July so we can get back to normal. And yet, strangely enough, we're going to announce to the whole world by the summer that there are UFOs all over the place. You don't see the correlation there? If you don't, it's because it's not intended for you to see it. You are already judged as those wicked devils, human beings, wicked-ass men and women in Sodom and Gomorrah were already prejudged by Yah for their wickedness. It was only through Yah's grace and mercy towards Abraham that he allowed Lot and his 2 daughters to escape. Only by his mercy. And the book says that it causes all, both great and small, rich and poor, to take the mark. Except, again, and Yeshua said it, the elect of Elohim. And who are the elect? Those who hear his voice. They talk about herd immunity. Think about that, herd immunity. Why would they come up with a term herd immunity? Herd. Like a herd of buffalo. Is it because most people are sheeple? And they know it? That they know most of you are going to do whatever they tell you without question. And they know most of you are so destitute of resource that you will do anything to keep those resources coming to you, including compromising your family, compromising your parents, compromising your children, to make sure that you do whatever they tell you to do if you want to keep getting their stimulus money and all kind of other incentives. But there is a caveat. You got to do this one thing. Think about that. They said, okay, look, we don't care about how you live. We don't care whether or not you're educated. We don't care whether or not, you're sick. We don't care about if you're a criminal, because even the prisoners are getting these stimulus. We don't care about anything else. We just need you to do this one thing. That doesn't sound diabolical to you, sisters and brothers? Think about it. All they want, just this one thing. You ain't got to do nothing else, just this one thing. And then we can get back to normal. But I am telling you, this one thing, if nothing else, is not going to be normal. Your normal instinct is to react to danger. When that's neutralized, you become prey. Let's say that again. Your normal instinct is to react to danger. When that becomes neutralized, like that frog that I mentioned boiling in the water, you become prey. And any predator will pick you off. And I can assure you, whatever is hidden under those waters and whatever is hidden, on the land, because Behemoth is there keeping those things at bay. Until now, they're about to be released. If you're not sealed and you're not under protection, you are going to be eaten alive. You're going to be destroyed, annihilated, but in the most miserable way. Oh, DFG is fear. Okay. I'm not pushing fear, sisters and brothers. See, the reason why you accuse me, if you did, maybe you didn't, but if you accuse me of fear-mongering, it's only because you don't know the book. Now, if you don't know who the book, whose fault is it that when I bring to you this truth, that you get intimidated, upset, or become emotional? Whose fault is that? I know the book, I'm quoting the book, I'm sharing the book, and now you're accusing me, the messenger, of fear-mongering, although it is written in the book. And many of you profess to be believers, but now you're offended because I bring to you the truth? Why? Because you want to believe a lie? Well, then believe it. Disregard everything that I have said to you. Just do as thy will, just as the world is telling you to do. And let's see who's right and who's wrong. Time will tell. Time will tell. But let me tell you something. See, when that fire came down upon those cities, there was no time. There was no escaping. As a matter of fact, Lot's wife got out of there too. But she was warned, don't you go back. See, when y'all bring this truth to you, you had better honor this truth. You had better listen to this truth. You had better obey this truth. And you better lock yourself inside of this truth. And he warned Lot's wife not to look back. Those angels said, when I get y'all out of here, don't look back. Y'all said, when you hear this truth, don't reject it. The day you hear my voice, harden not your heart. That's the word. In other words, you had better believe it. You had better receive it. You had better act on it. Lot's wife decided that she was going to look back. She was going to question it. And that fire burned her ass up to ashes. Oh, of course, the book says a pillar of salt. That's another analogy. When your body is burned in an incinerator, it becomes like salt or ashes. So her ass was destroyed with all the rest of the wicked, because although she was listening and she didn't want to die, she was not willing to let go of her lifestyle. She loved the things of this world more than the things of Yah, like many, many, many people that we know out here. Unfortunately, some of you too. And you're going to go on about your day like nothing was said to you this morning, as Lot's wife. And when that day comes, it's going to catch you unawares. Yeah, they're going to tell you normalcy. And they're going to tell you, yeah, the only way to get there is that we got to help you out a little bit. We got to give you a sedative. We want to keep your nerves down, because the last thing we can have is people going berserk out here all over the world at the same time. So we got to give you a sedative, a couple of sedatives, maybe 3 or 4 sedatives. We may have to give it to you every 6 or 7 months. It all depends. But we're going to keep you seduced, sedated. Guess that's the right word. So that you never see it coming. It's like the snare or spider web. That whatever that insect is, it sees that silk is shiny, and they say, boy, this is a beautiful thing. What is this? And they go fly, and they go right into that silk, and then they're like, wow, I can't get loose. Why I can't get out of here? Then all of a sudden, Mr. Spider comes to visit, or Mrs. Spider comes to visit, and they become lunch, or breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That is the same scenario that is going to happen to the majority of the people on this planet. And unfortunately, many of you, Israel, Judah, you're going to fall right into that trap, because you should have hearkened to the voice of Elohim. Yet you rejected it, because you were so caught up in the cares of this life and the issues of this life that you had no time for Elohim. And then you're going to look back at Elohim, and Elohim is going to tell you, I'm sorry, my son, my daughter, my friend, I have no time for you. And again, this is the strangest thing that you ever want to believe. These things are right here, today, in this time. That we don't even have to be deceived anymore, my sisters and my brothers. It is right here, written out in plain language for us. And yet, many of you are going to reject this truth. Many of you are going to reject this truth. Broad is the path and wide is the gate that leadeth unto destruction. Therefore, many are going to go that way. Why? Again, because they reject knowledge. When Yah brought knowledge to them about what was to come, they said it was foolishness. They said you were just trying to scare me. You were using fear tactics. You're over-exaggerating. You're inflating the facts. when everything around you and your spirit, and even if you don't have the right hook, and your natural soul should tell you something is wrong. We've seen things happen the last year and a half that none of us ever imagined could happen. Unbelievable things. If you had told folks 3 years ago about masking and social distancing and all this other stuff that I won't say, no one would have believed you. They would have said, oh, you're pushing fear. You're pushing ignorance. You're inflating the facts. No way. You're just fear-mongering. That's what they would have said. Is that what some of you are saying right now based off of this truth that I'm bringing forward to you this morning? That Yah gave me to tell you? Is that what you're saying? Did your doubt stop? Did those who would have questioned that 3 years ago, would their questioning been able to stop what was to come? Obviously not. It can't. You think your doubt right now, you're questioning the truth of Elohim that is written for your forewarning, just because you're doubting it, you think it's going to stop it from coming? No, it's not going to stop it. You should be thanking Elohim that you are hearing this morning. You should stop what you're doing, fall on your face, and repent and ask Yah for mercy and grace so that you can stay strong and you can be obedient because of the hearing of the word that you're hearing right now. That's what you should be doing. But many of you are going to continue on. You're just going to continue on in your wickedness. You're not even going to give it a second thought. And sad, and you know I'm right. You know I am right. But that is your judgment. As the people inside him, when Lot went and warned his son-in-laws and his other daughters, he had other kids there. He said, look, we got to get out of here tonight. Yah is going to bring down fire and brimstone on this place tonight. We have got to get out of here. They told Lot, get away here with that foolishness. We don't want to hear that crap from you. You sound crazy. Is he drunk? That's how they questioned Lot. Lot was warning them that death was imminent, and they looked at him like, you're drunk. Yah was warning, get out. Don't do it. Run for the hills. Get out of here. They told him, I'm sure his son-in-laws told their wives, your dad on drugs or something? I don't know. I ain't worried about him. Don't worry about him. But when that fire came down and burned their asses up, I bet they were wishing they had listened to Lot then. Go back and read the book of Ezekiel. Zechariah. I think the last chapter of Zechariah. It's in your book. And it says that something going to come and be burning, man, that your eye socket is going to burn out in your head. Melt in your head. Go read it. It talks about chariots, which is UFOs. It talks about, transportation, cars and automobiles. And it also talks about a nuclear annihilation where men's eye socket will burn out in the head. Go read it in the book of Zechariah. It's there. When last time your preachers preached that to you? Of course they didn't. At least not the unrighteous ones. And that's what many of them are. But it's not going to stop this truth from coming. They were warned. They did not heed the warning. Many of you are being warned. Will you heed the warning? That's the question you have to ask yourself. See, I don't have a place for you to go, by the way. So I'm not giving you this to get something back from you. I'm not the Dows of the world or some of these other, extortioners looking for something for saying something. I'm not, what's the other one name? Call for an uprising. Come on, get on my webpage. Get on my webpage. I can really tell you the truth. Rethinking the dollar. We get on Patreon and we can have our own little side chat, but you're going to have to pay me something for that. This truth is free. I don't want anything from you. Well, I guess I don't want anything from you. I just want something for you. I don't want you to die in your sins. Especially if you're Israel and you're Judah. That's what I want. But I have no control over that. Only you have control over that. And again, when we talk about this hidden truth that's right before us, let me read something to you. And I'm going to read right through it. And then I'm going to wrap this message up this morning. Okay? Watch this. Tell me what you think I've read to you when I'm done. Okay? Thus Yahuwah commanded the kings, the princes, the exalted, and all those who dwell on the earth, saying, open your eyes. Wake up, is what he's saying. Wake up. And lift up your voices. He says horns, but that's another word for voices. If you are capable of comprehending the elect one. Who are the elect ones? The messengers. If you're able to comprehend the message, can you understand what it is I'm saying unto you? It's, in essence, it's what it's saying. And if you do understand, open up your mouth and warn the people that you love. Yahuwah, who sits on the throne of his glory, and the Ruach HaKodesh, his spirit, that poured out over him. The word of his mouth shall destroy all sinners. He's going to destroy you with the word, with this truth. That's why he said, when you hear my word, harden not your hearts. Said the word of his mouth shall destroy all sinners and all the wicked, who shall perish at his presence. In that day, all the kings, all the princes, all the exalted people, talking about your entertainers, your athletes, etc., your movie stars, your media mongrels, etc., all those people who are renowned, famous people. That's what it's talking about. All the exalted and all those who possess the earth. These are all of the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Queen of England, the Pope, all of these devils. Talking about all of those who possess the earth, the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Jeff Bezos, the Gates, all of them. He says, stand up and behold and perceive that he that is sitting on the throne of his glory, that before him the saints shall be judged in his righteousness, that's us, and that nothing which shall be spoken before him shall be in vain. Everything that I'm telling you, everything that this book is telling you is going to come to pass. What it means. He's not saying this in vain. This is not being taught to you for nothing. These people are not warning you that there's something under this water that's going to come out and scare the shit out of everybody. Horrify them. They're going to want to die. You can't die. Said men going to be having heart attacks at the sight of this. Go to the book of Acts. It's right there written from, Revelations. At the fear of what's coming on the earth. He said, nothing shall be spoken before him that shall be in vain. He said, trouble shall come upon them as a woman in travail. That's John 6:26. That comes out of the mouth of the womb. She that finds it difficult to bring forth. She said when a woman is about to deliver a child, how uncomfortable it is for her. He said when you become this uncomfortable with the things that you see going on around you, and all of us have been very uncomfortable for a year and a half, he says understand that it is judgment. That baby is about to come. In other words, the end is about to come, or the beginning, depending on where you stand under Elohim. Said one portion of them shall look up upon another, and they shall be astonished, and it shall humble their countenance. Say all these people looking, what the hell's going on? God, what y'all think? What's going on? It's too late. He said when that hell and destruction start falling down, and that mass mayhem began, they're gonna start like, what's going on, man? You heard what? I don't know. He said it's gonna be too late. So they're gonna be looking at each other trying to figure out what he says. Too late. Too late. For many of you, it's gonna be too late, and you had a chance. You're gonna regret this day. Many of you, not. Some of you not. Obviously, you're not. You wouldn't be with me this morning. But many of you know people who are going to regret this day. And you can help them by sharing the message. But that's up to you. Solely up to you. You can help yourself by hearing this message and acting on this message. But also, that's solely up to you. He said, trouble shall seize them. And when they shall behold the son of Adam sitting upon his throne of glory, then shall the kings, the princes, and all those who possess the earth glorify him who has dominion over all things, him who was concealed from the beginning of the son of Adam, who existed in secret, which El has preserved in his presence and his power, and revealed only to the elect. The reason why some of us are aware of this, because Yah has revealed this to us, and he has not revealed it to them. Oh, I'm going to give you a precept to go with this, by the way. But he's saying, see, all these powerful people who are doing the one-eyed foolishness and all of that crap, I don't want to do it, but you know what I'm talking about, who are playing these psychological games with you. You know, the one-eyed Horus foolishness and all this stuff, Baphomet foolishness, these secret societies and all of these other social entities. All of these people are you're going to look at these people and you're going to say, I thought y'all were standing aside. I thought y'all knew what y'all were talking about. And they're all going to tell you, no, we were wrong. We were wrong. We were wrong. Just like that rich man, when he came out of hell, was repentant to Abraham and Lazarus. Oh, send somebody to go and warn them, or let me go. Let somebody. And he said, no, too late for you. There's a gulf between you and us, and it's too late. If they don't believe the prophet, they don't believe the word, their ass is going to die and join you in hell. See, all of these people out here telling you, don't believe this stuff. They just hyping you up. They've been saying that stuff. These people are going to come back, and right in front of your face, they're going to admit to you they were wrong. And it's going to be too late for you because you shouldn't have listened to them. You had a chance. You chose them over Yah. How sad. How sad. I feel sorry for you. You chose men over Yah. Some of you guys are at work right now. You're hearing this message, and you still don't give a damn. You're just going to go and you're going to get your wicked ass up, and you're going to go out there and spread your evil, your lust, your greed, your bitterness, your jealousy, your envy, your hatred. You're going to get up and you're going to keep on doing it. Some of you at home doing it. Some of you on vacation doing it. Some of you just sitting on your butts doing nothing, waiting on your stimulus check are going to do it. How sad. And then he goes on to say, and all the kings and the princes and the exalted, and all those who rule over the earth, all of your CEOs, all of these so-called important people, shall fall down on their faces before him, and they're going to worship him. All these people telling you don't believe, now all of a sudden they're going to become believers at your expense because you shouldn't have listened to them. You mothers who have children in rebellion, you better stop listening to them. You better leave them alone. You better dust the feet at the door as Yahuwah warns you. You fathers, you better leave them alone. You better keep on in. If they don't come, like Lot left his children there, by the way, except for the 2 daughters. He left them. He was like, I'm out of here. I'm not staying in here. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? It was a warning. It was written for our acknowledgement. It was written for our salvation. Say it the right way. Then shall Yahuwah hasten to expel them from his presence. He said, see, when these demons, all these wicked people that I mentioned, all of these so-called celebrities and etc., and these business mongols and all of them, see, when all of them bow down and say, you were right, you are the king, you are Elohim, you son of Adam, we were wrong. Okay, we surrender. Here's the white flag, we give up. Y'all can say, get from before me. It's too late. You see, that's what I'm saying to some of you guys. Some of you guys think you're going to do it on your deathbed. When I get ready to die, I'm just going to repent and no, you're not. He's not going to allow you to do that, my sisters, my brothers. It's too late. Because he's already telling you that's what many are going to do. Oh, give me another chance. It's too late. Get from behind. Get thee away from me, you workers of iniquity. I never knew you. That's written in the book too. And that's what's going to happen. All of a sudden, all of these atheists, all these Gnostics, all of these unbelievers, now all of a sudden, they're going to have their come to Jesus moment. And y'all going to say, just like you believed in that homosexual Caesar Borgia, that ancestral lying image that was made by the hands of man to deceive the whole world, just like you followed him, you're following him now to hell. You went in these wicked churches and synagogues where you were warned in the last days to come out and you didn't. Now take your part with those workers of iniquity. Your work, take your place with the wicked, you wicked individuals trying to deceive me. I know your heart. Had your heart been soft, you would have heard my word. He said, my sheep, they hear my word. They're not a part of the herd community. They are separate. They're only going to follow the voice of Yah, their shepherd. They're not going to follow the voice of men. I don't care what kind of science and medical degrees they have. They are liars. They are evil. They are wicked. They are from the synagogue of Satan. The church of Satan, where they preach lies and deceptions and good times and fun. Do what thy will. After all, you only have one life to live. Those devils. And the angels shall take them to their punishment, that vengeance may be inflicted upon all those who have oppressed the children and his elect. So for you believers, all of us, look, Yah is going to get revenge. Don't you worry about it. Yah going to take vengeance on them. For all of us who are under oppression, all of us who have been, victimized by selfish and wicked and unrighteous people for whatever their rationale is. Yah said, don't you worry about doing anything. You do what's right. I'm going to take vengeance on them. And the vengeance I'm going to put on them is going to last eternity. The vengeance you can put on them can make them uncomfortable for a little while. Yah said, I'm not interested in their uncomfortableness. He said, I'm going to destroy them in hellfire for eternity. There shall be weeping and gashing and misery. Mass slaughter. He said, I'm going to destroy them for eternity. And they're never going to forget what they did to you, my children. For you, my elect ones, the messengers and the people of Israel who stayed with the Messiah, who stayed with Elohim, regardless of what the rest of the world did. Men and women as ourselves. And they shall become an example to the saints and to his elect. Talking like their torment is going to be an example to us, the power and the judgment of Elohim. And we're going to be so happy we listened. So happy. We're going to be, oh, thank you, Elohim. Praise Yah. And through them shall these be made joyful. And the anger of Yeshua shall rest upon them. Talking about the wicked. In other words, he's never going to let them loose. They're going to burn for eternity in the lake of fire. Then shall the word of Elohim, he says sword, but then the word of Yeshua shall be drunk with their blood. In other words, he's not going to get tired of slaughtering them. Look, it's in the book. But the saints and the elect shall be made safe in that day. Talking about when judgment is passed upon this wicked earth. And he said, in the face of the sinners and the wicked shall them forth, that in the face of the sinners and the wicked shall they behold. We're going to see their wicked asses. And Yahuwah shall remain over them. And with the son of Adam they shall dwell. They shall eat, we will lie down, we will rise up forever and ever. Talking about the blessed. Those of us who held our place, who resisted the devil in his plans to seduce us, to inoculate us, to sedate us. We resisted unto death if necessary, the book says. And the Elohim and the elect have arisen from the earth and left off to depress their countenances, and have been clothed with a garment of life, everlasting life, for those of you who obey and follow the laws, the commandments, the word of Yah is all it's saying. Those of you who are willing to discipline yourself, to come out from among them and separate yourself. He's talking about you. He says he's going to clothe you with eternal life. And where you will have no more pain, no more misery, no more suffering, no more hunger, no more disease, no more thirst for righteousness. It's going to be like a fountain of youth going on you forever and ever. You are going to be beautified. You are going to be glorified. You are going to be preserved with all the goodness of Elohim. This is the reward that he has for us who stand fast, my brothers and sisters. Those of us who embrace this truth and will not let it go, regardless of what is to come on this earth. And we're sure not going to let anybody influence our minds with anything that they may have to make us feel better about the horrors to come. No, we'll be okay. Y'all go over there and get your shot of whiskey. I did say your shot of whiskey. You know, your shot. Go get your shot. So YouTube, that's what I said. Don't misquote me. That the garment of life is with Yahuwah, in whose presence your garment shall not wax old, and your glory will never diminish. Praise Yah. Now see, I just read to you chapter 62. Did you hear what I read to you? Does that sound like something you would have found in the book? Yes, right? You would have found that. Hey, what you read from? Matthew? What are you reading from? Luke? This is what you say. What are you reading from? The Psalms or Isaiah? What are you reading from, DFG? I just read that to you from the book of Enoch. I just read that to you from the book of Enoch. Yes, from the book of Enoch. And I bet most of you had no idea, unless you had already gotten ahead of me and studied it. But for those of you who have never read the book of Enoch, I just read from you the book of Enoch. And guess what else is in Enoch? all of the fallen angels, Leviathan, Behemoth, all of the ones who taught women to use makeup and taught men how to use weapons for war and technology to destroy the earth, to destroy Jerusalem or Israel. Let me say that a better way. All of that I've just said to you, all of the horrors and everything else, the fallen angels, those who had sex with women, these women who enticed these angels, who brought forth the Nephilims, whose spirits are still here wreaking havoc on the earth. All that's from this book that I just read to you. One chapter of it. Now, do you believe that this book is the truth? They have lied. They have hidden this because they did not want you to know the secrets. They did not want you to know the truth, my sisters and my brothers. But somehow, some way, Yah raised some of us up to bring this out. And I'm going to tell you something. Go back and look at the last few videos. It's kind of sad when you look at it. 80 views, 40 views. You're like, you got billions of people on earth and they're not hearing this message. You think YouTube doesn't have something to do with that? Of course they've got this channel. They've got my channel shadow banned. They're not sharing this video. If you don't share it, it's not going to get out there. This is a lot of truth. Think about it, guys. Billions of people on the planet and not even 100 are hearing this. Definitely not 200. That shows you there that they know this is the truth. There's nothing wrong with my voice. I don't think I'm that hard to look at, by the way. So why aren't they hearing it? Why isn't it being shared? Because they don't want it shared. Because they know it is the truth. Not DFG's truth, it's Yah's truth. But let's close here. You know, why? You may say, well, what makes you think that you know DFG? Well, first of all, because I'm getting it from the book. But let me share something else with you. Go to the book of Matthew. Go to the book of Matthew. Praise Yah. I want you to go to chapter 11. Praise Yah. And I'll tell you why. You ready? Go to chapter 11. This is why you say, well, what makes you think that you know? What makes you guys who say you know right? Why should we believe you all? I think that's a fair question. Some would say, good question. Well, can I show you why? Matthew chapter 11, verse 25. And at that time, Yeshua answered and said, I thank you, O Father Yahuwah of heaven and earth, because you have hid these things from the wise. You have hid these things from the wise and the prudent. The prudent is the so-called educated. So you've hid it from the wise and the educated, and you have revealed it unto the babes, us, the children. That's why. Praise Yah. Do with this information what you will. Do with this information what you must. But you shall know the truth. And if you accept this truth, you will be saved. If you reject this truth, you will be damned. DFG, talk to you later. Bye now.